How dangerous is high fructose corn syrup really? Does it really add that much of a toxic load to our system? That's what we're going to cover on today's video. I'm Jackie Ulmer. Grab my guide over at lowertoxiclife.com. So, how bad is high fructose corn syrup really? You're going to have to judge for yourself, but I know for me, it's right up there in the top five of foods that I avoid at all costs. Even when you go out, for me personally, I will quite often ask about ingredients. You have to be super careful when you're ordering out in restaurants so that you can avoid getting high fructose corn syrup if at all possible. Now, you can read here on the slide. Unfortunately, high fructose corn syrup is one of those things that's highly, highly concentrated, and it's truly adding to the overweighting of America. I loved that term. And you can read through this label for yourself and see some of that. But truly, the chronic overconsumption of high fructose corn syrup causes an increase in fat production and worsens insulin sensitivity. Okay, these are important things to note. So again, it's kind of like what I do is I think to myself, that 80-20 rule, right? Do I really need this? Are there not better alternatives? Yes, there are absolutely much better alternatives. Unfortunately, here in the United States, corn, soybeans, and some other products and crops that are grown by farmers are subsidized by the US government. And a lot of that is so that cheap production allows the government to feed more people. But you have to ask yourself, what are we doing to the most marginalized and poor among us? We are adding a huge burden, a huge toxic overload in the name of feeding them cheaply. Trust me, there are better alternatives, and we cover all of those on this channel. So you want to definitely avoid high fructose corn syrup if at all possible. Now, again, you can go to citations.lowertoxiclife.com and you will find citations like the one listed below here on this slide so that you can do the research for yourself. So I just want to quickly breeze through some common foods with high fructose corn syrup that you want to seek to avoid. Candy and any highly processed foods. Obviously, highly processed foods are foods that you want to avoid anyway. I've got a video on that that's a standalone in and of itself. But some of these things fall under that. Candy, Hershey products, Reese's peanut butter cups, which I adore. So my heart was broken. Many packaged items, so cupcakes, even muffins that might be even labeled heart healthy, you have to learn to read those labels. Oreo cookies, ice cream, sodas, many sodas, and sweetened beverages are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. Fast food, I mentioned when you're out in restaurants, but fast food specifically, pay attention to the breads, the buns, a lot of that, because so often those breads, as is noted here on the slide, are sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. Sauces and condiments. Do you ever look at your barbecue sauce, your ketchup, different items like that? So again, it becomes so important to learn to read the backs of labels. Make sure you get my guide over at lowertoxiclife.com where you're going to get that simple printout of things that you can take to, a sheet that you can take to the grocery store so that you learn how to read those labels and how to avoid some of those derailers that are out there. Breakfast foods, even Jimmy Dean sausage contains high fructose corn syrup as its sweetener. So again, you want to really learn to evaluate what it is you're purchasing. Juice boxes, Hawaiian Punch, Minute Maid lemonade, Minute Maid fruit punch. Those are just some examples of some well done marketing products that are out there targeted to marketing our children that are setting them up for childhood obesity and a life of chronic issues with weight gain, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and all of that. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you can watch all of my future videos and those videos that are already there on really deep diving into some of these labels, some of these ingredients, as well as ways to reduce the toxic overload that you are exposed to on a daily basis in your life. A confused mind says no. My goal is to simplify this for you and slowly begin to shift out those habits so that you can make changes. And over the course of a year, if you take a little bit each day, each week, each month, over the course of a year, which time's going to pass anyway, you're going to be amazed at what's going to shift in your diet. I'll see you on the next video.